All right, YouTube world, the one or two people who actually might comment on my stuff, y'all are awesome. Well, YouTube got back with me after I appealed the decision of why they should take it down, and they didn't even really give me a good answer. They just basically said, upon further review, we have decided that it still violates our communities and guidelines and sticks with our decision. Now, YouTube, you could have actually quoted something I said, or you could have said the time periods between 153 and 247 was where the objectionable material is. You could have given me a handful of quotes of what I said that were offensive. You could have pointed out a couple of images that I said that were offensive. But you didn't do that. You just came in out of nowhere. You said that it was harassment and bullying. And then I said, okay, show me how it's harassment and bullying. Where have I done it? And you didn't show me anything. So the thing is that apparently people are going to need to do one of two things, hopefully both, because I'm in for a little bit of revenge, is that people need to take YouTube to court and scream out and, fair use stuff and all that, and or preferably both. They need to start going to other places and stop giving YouTube their revenue. YouTube is going to stand up for the rights of people like Markiplier. Again, I love Markiplier, but I'm just using this to make a point. People are going to stand up for people like Markiplier who are popular, who make them ad revenue. But they're not going to stand up for the average guy. The average guy who can kind of suck somebody like Markiplier into this, like at that one time. The average guy, it's kind of like a peasant in medieval Europe appealing to a noble to stop one of the warrior class from mugging them. He had to be lucky, and he had to be able to catch a noble on a good day. So the thing is that YouTube it just takes it down, and half the time YouTube has been caught breaking the law, like they're censoring it over stuff that's not really, breaking any of the rules. And they tend to give people the runaround, and I think that just shows that it's one of two things. That one, YouTube doesn't want to explain itself and says, I do whatever the fuck I want, and I'm going to break my own rules, and I'm going to suddenly just start discriminating against people's videos because I feel like it. Or it's a robot, and they feel that they don't want to take the time to look at it and see if it's true. So the thing is that unless we're like Markiplier or PewDiePie, our voices don't matter. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't take that the wrong way, like I'm talking about Markiplier and PewDiePie in a bad way at all. But I'm just saying is that Markiplier and PewDiePie can occasionally get the system to unfuck itself. But the rest of us can't. Just some guy, that YouTuber Just Some Guy, I watch some of his videos from time to time. Some I agree with, some I don't. I tend to agree with the general gist of it, just maybe not little details, but that's besides the point. Just Some Guy has had to do this too. And I think Just Some Guy is actually somebody who has a decent following, where he expresses his opinion and he provides proof for that. But then suddenly it just seems like YouTube wants to censor things that's either for the state or for people that kind of fall in the SJW crowd. And me, I'm very reluctant to use SJW because it sometimes is abused. It's kind of like the word Karen. Karen can be justified to use whenever somebody who is an adult and knows better is exhibiting borderline criminal behavior, but it can sometimes be unfairly used to just a white woman whose Starbucks coffee got screwed up, and she was like, hey, you screwed up my Starbucks coffee. Of course, she should be nice about it, but like anything, any sort of slur that we have, if racist is a horrible thing to be, Nazi is a horrible thing to be, but, people just abuse the term and call everything they don't like their new slur because it's like their favorite toy. Snowflake and SJW are bad things to be, but sometimes people are being SJWs and snowflakes, and sometimes they were calling out a sociopath on his shit. But regardless, it seems to me that, and I'm not trying to pull any of these, this isn't like a shout out to any of those YouTubers. Like I said, I know I'm nobody, but I'm just saying, if we look at an example of things that they've talked about on what happened with them, or whenever other people talk about them, it seems that the establishment of YouTube is hiding behind the SJW movement. I don't think that the SJW movement is like destroying America, but I think that the elites who could give a rat's ass about social justice are hiding behind it so that it makes it look like you're being racist. I think a lot of this political correctness, it started out as a good thing for a good reason to help protect some people, but I think it was really, that's it when it's in its cute baby form. It's really just out there to protect the ruling elites and the rich, because then a bunch of people can be rich, and then they say, oh, we're House Rothschild, we're Jews, and if you hate us, you hate the Jews. And it's like, well, one, anybody can say they're Jewish. It doesn't mean that they're Jewish. Two, from what I understand, y'all are more along the lines of Satanists, and not the real Satanists that are just stern Wiccans. I mean, like, actual real shit. And, so did a lot of you guys just kind of pretend to convert to Judaism so you could technically pull the Jewish card whenever we're calling you out for funding Nazis? I mean, or funding communists, or funding jihadists who, who attack, a lot of these people who are really rich and powerful, and then they say that the world hates them and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. Your boy Theodore Herschel, he exposed that a lot of you globalist, elite, internationalist, Zionist types, y'all like to set up the average, everyday, innocent Jew for failure, and then you want them to come crying and running to you so that they hide behind you, and now you have a buffer zone of traumatized Jews to use as a meat shield so that we can't get past them without doing something terrible. That's fucked up. And, you're the one who's funding ISIS, and you helped the Nazis with your Sonder commandos, and you funded the Soviet Union. So a lot of you globalists really like to hide behind, whoever was the victim. Y'all are the ruling elites. Y'all are the privileged oppressors. But whenever you see somebody that's a victim that survived and everybody's upset about it, suddenly you act like you're friends with them. You're kind of like the Romans after they tried to kill Christians, and then Christians got popular, and then the Romans acted like they were Team Jesus all along. Well, that's what people like you, Rothschilds and Rockefellers, are. You probably were okay with exterminating whatever group of people that were in your way, but then it's like, oh, everybody saw it, now they feel sorry for them, now you're pretending to actually be like you were their biggest fans all along, and we just didn't know. But I've kind of got sidetracked. That's just an example. The main thing that I wanted to talk about was how YouTube, it stuck by its decision, and it's made me realize several things. One thing it's made me realize is that I'm going to have to find some kind of alternative to YouTube, like BitChute, to upload my videos. What I'm probably going to do in the near future is just re-upload the offending video, but to BitChute, and then I'll post a YouTube video talking about, where I sent it and giving the link in the description. It's made me also realize another thing is that eventually, whenever it comes, if the internet is like the world, then the establishment part of the internet, Facebook, Google, YouTube, it's kind of like Britain. And the thing is that a lot of people are going to have to find their original stuff on the internet and break off like colonists broke off and had the American Revolution and started their own new world away from the old world. The thing is that YouTube and Facebook have kind of become the town square where the public crier and the people giving speeches can be heard by everyone. And now they realize, and I don't know what it was that all of a sudden they want to crack down on stuff, but for what I know, whenever I saw it and I made a video talking about Peeeeza Gait and exposing Hollywood pedophiles and a lot of pedophilia, in general, child rape in things like law enforcement, organized religion. I didn't single out one race. I didn't single out one religion. I didn't make it all about the left or the right. I didn't show any child pornography images. I showed art by Tony Podesta that you can go in a quick Google search that's like, this isn't child porn, but this makes me think that this is code. It's like, that it's like, hey, if you like child porn, here's code, and we've got it. And a lot of people have said that. So I don't know who I'm harassing and bullying. They didn't say I was racist. They didn't say I was posting child porn or snuff films or like stuff that was violent. They didn't say it was because I was cussing. They said it was harassment and bullying. Who am I harassing? Tony Podesta? Who am I harassing? Jeffrey Epstein? He's dead. Who am I harassing? Some random people in police departments that have done this stuff that I didn't even show their names or faces? I think I showed somebody's, I think I might have showed one person's name and face. It was like that this cop did something corrupt. It was a meme that was out there for years. I really don't know who I was harassing or bullying. Whenever somebody says, how do you harass or bully somebody with a video? Now, I hate bullying, but it's like, wouldn't I be more guilty of bullying in the comment section, harassing them with insults and poorly structured arguments and ad hominem attacks and just general nastiness? I thought that's how you would harass people online. Now, I don't believe in being a cyberbully. I believe in saying stuff that might be offensive, but I don't believe in being mean. I say stuff that's offensive to grab people's attention, but if they talk to me like a human being afterwards, I would like to be nice. I believe in being nice. I get upset. I say things that are edgy, but I don't want to hurt people, just like when we're talking. All right? We're just talking. Although sometimes I do come off as passionate when I talk, and I do have to watch my tone. That's one thing that I've always been socially awkward about. That and explaining myself too much. But hey, that's what YouTube videos are for. But the thing is that I tried to appeal their decision. They said that shortly afterwards, they said that they were going to stick with their decision and keep it deleted. They didn't say exactly what it was. They said that it just violated community standards of harassment and bullying. They didn't give me any examples. They didn't give me any time clips to look at and say, oh, that's what was offensive. They didn't say, this meme crossed a line here at 11:45, or this meme over here that you played at the 3:53 mark was too much. They didn't say that I said a racial slur. They just said it was harassment and bullying. They didn't give me any evidence. So I'm thinking that this is either somebody, actually there could be several things that this is, and some of them are sinister. The one thing could be that this is just a robot and they don't want to check their robots that judge things on an algorithm. The other thing is that it could just be somebody online who just didn't like it because, I might have said something that wasn't, Democrat brainwashed, or somebody was a snowflake on the right wing that I dared mention that the police might have a problem with this. So I don't know, somebody could have just been vindictive, and even if I said 4 out of 5 things that weren't really that biased, they took one thing the wrong way and they stuck with it, and maybe they've worked with Google and YouTube, so there's no, we're not going to check our worker. But let's end on a note that might be a bit sinister. Well, I can end on a positive note after this, but the note that's very sinister is, what if YouTube is genuinely doing this just to protect the pedophiles in Hollywood? What if me exposing pedophiles is what they're considering harassment? I mean, I had a picture of something Tony Podesta drew that showed this weird creature that looked like something the White Witch from Narnia would summon to fight Aslan with. But the thing is it that interdimensional creature? Am I harassing that interdimensional demon? What am I doing? Who am I harassing? Like I said, Epstein? Am I harassing and bullying the police as a whole because I said they have a few bad apples? Am I harassing the Catholic Church whenever I said that I thought that the Pope was just pretending to be progressive to get us off their case because then we don't have to continue with the sex abuse allegations? I mean, what is it? what is it? Okay, Epstein's dead. The police can take it. Half the time liberals like to talk bad about the police, but they do it from a Marxist slant instead of a, hey, this is wrong. And some of it's about racism, but not all is about racism. No, the left will only let you criticize the police if it's specifically black versus white and left versus right. I've even been in college, and my liberal college teacher was talking about police brutality, and it happened to a guy who was both black and a veteran. She talked about how it happened to the guy who was a black veteran, made it all about him being black. I didn't deny racism, but I said also that other people can be abused by the police, and they can be veterans, and they can be constitutionalists. So it's like, I was thinking, if white people and black people are both having a problem with bad apples in the police force, that would make some people that are diametrically opposed come together and see eye to eye. That black people would see that white people don't always have all this privilege covering their ass, and that white people would see that whenever black people complain about something, it's not always crazy bullshit. They're not always lying. And then if I can also expose how good cops, whenever they try to expose the bad cops, are punished, then it's not an anti-cop thing. Then it's just anti-bad cop, and we're actually sticking up for the good cops who are victims, and that the only people who need to be afraid of anything are the bad cops. But that's just another example that I can do. So, 3 things. It was a robot they didn't want to check. It was a worker they didn't want to check. Or it's part of a conspiracy to just protect Peeeeza Gait, which kind of proves that Peeeeza Gait is real, because they're trying to censor people talking about it. And you can say, well, nobody proved Peeeeza Gait. No, but a theory isn't just a hypothesis. A theory is something that's gained some rank. Because there's a lot of evidence for Peeeeza Gait, and even if you dismiss that, look at the news. Look at the Catholic sex scandals. Look at Epstein Island. Are we just cutting Peeeeza Gait some slack because it exposes people in Hollywood and the establishment? So those are the people who are really in charge? It seems kind of suspicious that, I wasn't really targeting anybody. I don't know if you're trying to protect the dead ghost of Jeffrey Epstein, the rogue police officers, that interdimensional pedo demon from Narnia that was in Tony Podesta's art, or if you're just trying to defend people in Hollywood who are child-sacrificing, blood-drinking scum, and that's who you serve. And you pretend like you're doing it with an algorithm of fans and users, and you like to act like you're part of this community and everybody's in on it, and I'm undermining the democratic process. We know that's bullshit. But the thing is, YouTube, I'm not going to let you get me down too much, minus some righteous indignation to call you out on your bullshit. You're just going to lose customers that make you money. You're just going to lose customers, and maybe you think that the only people who matter, and I love these guys too, so don't take it like I'm dissing them, but maybe you think the only people who matter are the ones who have like a zillion subscribers and who have a bunch of likes and appeal to popularity and make you money. Maybe the only people who matter is Markiplier and PewDiePie, and I like them too, but if you only care about your golden child, you're going to have a bunch of rebellious children. And some of us kids who could have been good kids are going to become black sheep. We're going to talk shit about you on YouTube. We're going to defame you. We're going to make you look bad. And I don't care if you're a corporation. You say you can do whatever you want. You can censor whatever you want, that freedom of speech is just about the government. You corporations are part of the government. You corporations are part of the government. You're the new neo-feudal aristocracy, and the only reason why we liked you was because you gave us the ability to be in the town square and post what we wanted. Now you're losing what made you special, but it's because you think that you've achieved it with a handful of YouTubers that will make you money, that you can oppress everybody else. Well, the thing is, YouTube, you're going to lose us. You're going to have people talk shit about you. People are going to start making up their own websites, and they're going to start leaving you. You may not see it now. Like Great Britain at the height of its power, you may not see it now, but it's going to happen. There's going to be colonies, and they're going to break off. And I hope to God that whenever you try to retake the colonies, so to speak, that everybody will block you out. In another video, I might start talking about things that are more positive, because It's easy to focus on the negative, and I will focus on the negative to relieve stress and expose it for what it is. But eventually I'll also try to start making videos about what I'm grateful for, like, hey, let's give attention to these good people. But the thing is, YouTube, this is why people are talking shit about you. This is why you have a civil war with the fans. Some fans are toxic and entitled, but some of this is really just you just trying to delete people who aren't your take on things. And now I see what it is. Because from my point of view, I wasn't posting right-wing pro-Trump bullshit. I was posting stuff that was exposing corruption. Every American citizen is a journalist, and it is every American citizen's civic duty to expose corruption and express their opinion on it. And that the media is supposed to be the fourth estate. But the media is part of the state. You and the media and the corporations are all fused with the government, and all you care about is the ruling elite. So you have failed. We, the people, will become what you hate. Or we, the people, will become what you were meant to be. And I think that's why you're trying to censor us and destroy us, because you've declared your loyalty to the 1%. You think that after they wipe us all out, that you're going to get an inheritance of the earth, and that you're going to get a bunch of human slaves. And that's just not how it's going to be. We're going to make you work for that shit. As more and more people are waking up, as more and more third eyes are being opened, and as more seeds are being planted, we will sow the seeds of your destruction, and you will have nobody to blame but yourself.